Ready when you are.
Go ahead and introduce him.
Okay. Perfect. So everyone remembers Luis Molina. He is the advising manager under SOAR, and he's back today again. Our other guest speaker is Dr. Catherine Powers. Dr. Catherine Powers is the director of the Office of Graduate Studies at Cal State Fullerton. The director for the Office of Graduate Studies provides leadership and oversight for the Office of Graduate Studies, the university's central office for graduate studies. Working closely with colleges and academic units, OGS monitors academic progress for graduate students within compliance with state and university policies, reviews student records for graduation of master's and doctoral students, reviews graduate curriculum and liaises with the Academic Senate Office's Graduate Education Committee. OGS also administers university and CSU system fellowship opportunities for graduate students and 2 U.S. Title V federal grants to promote student success. If you can give a warm welcome to our guest speakers today.
Welcome. It's great to see you. It's great that you invited me to come here. And so I wanted to ask first a little bit about why you are here and what you are doing here in this program. What is the program about for you? And then what your next step is. So, should we start with you?
My name is Kelly Boyd, and what brings me here to graduate program was the School of Social Work. And I feel I can make the most impact serving my community through social work, rather than just going on marriage, family therapy, or higher ed counseling.
And what this program brings to you, this program?
Pre-march?
Yes.
Being prepared, knowing about the resources, learning about the expectation, and just improving my own skill set as well as learning new skills.
Good. So you're all set to be a graduate student next semester, very soon.
Yes.
And how many of you are coming to Cal State Fullerton? So I think, and one person is going to Humboldt. Okay, so tell us really quickly just a little bit about yourself and why you came to this. Or
well, I graduated here as my undergrad. So my name is Chiwei, by the way. So I graduated here, and I was involved with the LA Health Academy. Their first semester was my last semester, so I was involved with that for a little bit before I graduated. And after that, I did half of a summer internship with LA Health Academy as well with Dr. Yu. So yeah, that's how I got I got involved with this program now, and then I heard about it through Aaron, and I needed some practice on my writing skills, and thought it'd be a good opportunity to learn more about graduate school people actually going out there and jump into it.
great. And what do you study at Humboldt?
I'll be studying environmental systems.
Environmental systems.
Yeah. So focusing on energy technology and policy.
Great.
Yeah.
It's a good place to do it.
Thank you.
Okay. And so nobody took any time off. Okay. Sorry. What field are you going to study in?
Speech language pathology.
Okay, here in Cal State Fullerton. Yeah, great. So you're in the communicative disorders program.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And you came to this program. What was the key thing that brought you here?
I was already in the Allied Health Academy, so I found out through there, and I just wanted to be prepared for graduate school because I wasn't really sure what to expect.
Now you're prepared. That's great. Good. Okay, Sarah?
I'm in the MSW program, concentrating in community mental health. And what brought me to this program was being a first-generation woman of color and trying to get prepared and not just like get into graduate school, but to make sure that I make something out of my degree and in my future.
Fantastic. That's great. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Social work.
Yes.
Okay. Social work. Social work.
Yeah.
Social work. Okay. I heard a theme.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my name is Gabby. I'm in social work. My concentration is child welfare. One of the reasons that brought me here is so I can make sure I succeed. I know the percentage is very low for students of minority groups, so I want to make sure that I make that difference within my family and out in the community as well.
Right. So important for our regional security, economic security, et cetera, but also nationally. Don't listen to Washington DC right now, if you know what I mean. But nationally, it's very important. Okay.
Hi, I'm Lucia Prado, and I'm also in the MSW in concentrating on community mental health.
Good.
And I'm in this program to help me prepare. So, because I was really scared, I'm still a little
totally
scared,
understand.
but this program has helped me a lot, preparing for what is to come.
Great. Good. And now you're prepared.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
It helps. It helps.
Good.
My name is George. I'm going also into the MSW program. And I just kind of fell into this program thanks to Rosia. And I think from this program, I'm taking a lot of tools that will help me be a successful graduate, which in turn is going to make me be a professional. And then that way, when I have my degree, I can be able to help other people.
That's great. That's wonderful. We learn in programs like this, we learn a lot about the tools for success for others as well as ourselves. Okay.
Hi, I'm Penny, and I chose this program only because I wanted to make sure I was prepared. I didn't know what to expect when going into graduate school. So doing this program, it gave me some expectations of what I need to be prepared for. So this helps me to be ready.
Okay. Good, wonderful. Well, congratulations almost, because I think you're about to finish, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so as you heard, I'm the director of the Office of Graduate Studies. Every campus has an Office of Graduate Studies, almost throughout everywhere nationally. You might be called the college or the school of. We are the Office of, which is typical in the Cal State system. And you heard that we do a lot of things with a central office for everything graduate. We don't do a lot of the processing for admissions. We are involved with theirs more tangential, but everything else, including graduating grad students. And I'm really happy to say that we have a more holistic approach to graduate studies, graduate education now, because we have more student services, so we can not only enforce safe policies and graduation and monitor and success, but also provide resources and opportunity for students. And that's why Luis is here, because he's part of the Title V SOAR grant, the Strengthening Opportunities, Access, and Resources for Latino students in graduate studies. And by extension, we really mean all students. This is a federal grant from the U.S. Department of Education, 5 years, $2.5 million. It's our second one of these grants here at Cal State Fullerton. So we've had one since 2010. We've been able to develop many of these resources, and so happy that Luis is part of the team here and part of helping students, graduate students, succeed. Let's see, Cal State Fullerton. Since we're almost all Cal State Fullerton, I'll give you two little trivial things here. We have a Graduate Student Success Center, which you may have heard about. Please go there as soon as you can. It's in the Pollack Library, 3rd floor, south wing, which because of the construction, you actually have to go up to the 2nd floor on the north wing by the elevators, and then go across to the south wing and then up to the 3rd floor. So it's a little bit because of the construction. But it was funded by our grant, and $200,000 built it out. And it's, I understand that it's unique in the Cal State system. It's the only one. It's the only one that offers everything that it offers. Some Cal States now have Graduate Student Center or something, Resource Center like Long Beach. But in this place, you can get all kinds of resources, but you also can stay and study. And we have a tutoring program there, advising resources. It's run by graduate students. So there they are behind the desk, and they are a wealth of information. And then we have the tutoring there. So that was one thing we should be proud of here at Cal State Fullerton. Another couple of things we can be really proud of here at Cal State Fullerton is our growth in graduate student numbers, and you can still be proud. So, and you're going to a good place. So whereas other Cal States have sometimes when all of the graduate deans get together and I'm there and we're all like, okay, how's it going on at your school? And your Cal State and they're complaining that their graduate student enrollment is declining because they have a declining admissions and ours is increasing. Especially amongst Latino students. We went from 686 students who self-identified Hispanic in fall 2009, and in fall 2016, it was 1,243. Yeah, so that is a significant part of our increase. And that's a good thing, and that's attributed to our federal grants. So I won't say anything more. I'm just going to go down to the nitty-gritty for us here. Do you want this?
Oh, there we go. So who remembers my face? I was tired of seeing my face. So for our focus of our presentation today, we're going to speak about funding and other opportunities. So like Dr. Powers said, we're the Office of Graduate Studies, we're located in McCarthy Hall, room 112. There's our hours of operation. Notice that on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we are open a little bit late, trying to accommodate for working individuals. Again, she's my director, so please look good. So as she said, Office of Graduate Studies has a lot of things going on, a lot of resources and stuff for you guys. We have the Graduate Student Handbook. I know I provided you guys last time with a lot of materials. Who has looked at them? Who's looked at them already? No? No? They still in that bag? Okay. Homework. When you guys go home, look through that bag. There's a lot of stuff that's valuable in there.
We've been keeping them super busy. I can imagine. That's a good thing.
So we have a newsletter that's going to be released bi-monthly now, Dr. Powers. So keep a lookout for that in your student email. The first one, the earlier one in the month is going to be about things that might be going on in the grad studies world. The second one will be about funding opportunities and things of that nature. We host workshops throughout the year. I believe we're going to have for next fall an all-time record of how many workshops? 20-something workshops. So please take advantage. A lot of them have to do with academic success, others about mental health. Okay, so please take advantage if you have the time. We have tutoring at the Graduate Student Success Center. Be advised, that's my role, and I have as a part-time staff member, graduate assistants that help me as well. So for today, we'll cover financial aid. We'll cover something that's called the satisfactory academic performance. We'll cover scholarships and grant writing. Financial aid, who applied for FAFSA? Everyone has their hand up. Good, good, good. Did everyone meet the March 2nd deadline?
Yeah.
Great, great, great. So you guys are on it. So FAFSA is one of the applications for financial aid. It's really important to meet that March 2nd deadline to be put up for the State University grant, right? The other application for California Dream Act for those that identify as AB 540. Students that identify as AB 540 will fall under a category of that. Students that, they'll be exempt from non-resident tuition, and if to qualify for AB 540, they have had to have gone to a California school for 3 years, okay, and graduated from a high school, and then enrolled in a higher ed institution in California. Okay. Any questions on that? So the State University grant, does anybody know if they've been awarded this? Right, right. So the State University grant covers tuition, full tuition. Students are there and just have to cover the student fees, which are about $500+, something like that, okay? Eligibility is determined by information provided on the financial aid application. So it's based on your financial need, okay? It covers, you must be enrolled up to at least 6 units half-time, and it'll cover up to 125% of your program units. It's more than 100 in case you need to complete some courses and prerequisites.
Sorry.
Sure. Go ahead.
That grant, is it good? Do you reapply every year?
Yes, you must reapply every year to FAFSA, and every year you must meet that early deadline. So please set a reminder on your calendar, phone, anything, all right? Very, very important. Also through FAFSA, you might qualify for federal loans. That's another form of financial aid. If you don't qualify for that, then you are kind of left up to paying out of pocket or searching for private loans, right? So here are the interest rates with the loans that we have. We have unsubsidized Stafford loans and federal direct plus loans for grad studies. The only difference here for loans is that students that identify as AB 540 that apply to the California DREAM Act, there is no loan program for them. Here's a breakdown of the amount of money that you can receive as a loan. So there's a yearly limit of $20,500, which I think is more than enough. I don't know. So just know that that's the limit, and the lifetime limit is up there, that big number right there, 130. Who wants to be in debt for that much, right? So, satisfactory academic performance. Who has heard of that? SAP, that's an acronym, yeah. Good, good, good. So that's good. Let me cover that. So part of your responsibility as being a student is meeting this requirement. So you must maintain academic progress toward a specific degree, and eligibility is a minimum GPA. So for grad students, it's 3.0 grade, right? So you must keep the minimum pace, which I'll cover right now on the next slide, and you must do it in a time frame. So the minimum GPA, as you said, is 3.0 to 70% of units attempted in the semester. So for instance, watch that.
It happened to you?
Yeah, it happened to me. So I took 3
You know that Luis got his graduate degree here a couple years ago.
If they remember, I said it last time. If they don't. So one semester I took 3 courses. I was struggling in one course. Decided to withdraw from it. Had other stuff going on in my life. So I withdrew. At the end of the year, I get this letter saying you did not meet the SAT requirements. You did not meet that 70%, right? So I was, in jeopardy of losing my financial aid. Be very, very conscious of that. There is an appeal
So
process.
what happened to you?
So I appealed it.
You appealed it,
I
and
appealed
what
it.
was that like?
I'm going to cover it in a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll save it.
And here's another point, which is about SAT. It's better to start out with 6 units than it is to take 9 and drop to 6. That's weird, but if you, sorry, I'm
No,
jumping
no.
sorry. But if you enroll in 9 units and you get your financial aid funded for 9 units, right? Time goes on, yes, it's quite working for me, I need to drop a class. Hey, no big deal, except you know what? They'll maybe cut your financial aid, would have been better just to do 6 units, actually, because then they would fund you for 6 units, and then you'd finish the 6 units, and you would meet your FAP. So think about that.
And you guys have your schedules already?
Yeah.
How many units are you guys taking?
15.
Well, they're in the social work program
co-work program.
is a cohorted program.
Yes.
And they have very clear definitions of courses and all of that, and you're not supposed to work, and there's, this whole, the whole thing. But for those of you who are not in social work, or if you have any friends not in social work, this is a really good piece of advice. Jesse.
Yeah. So let me see where we're going. So the time frame, you must complete your program in the standard time of 150% until you end. So you, unlike undergrad, you can't really find yourself and say, I'm going to do this program and do that program, this is which one I like best, right? You can't do that now. Hopefully you found yourself already. Okay. So requalification. So again, if you don't meet whether the 3.0 GPA for that, the appeal process is a personal statement and documentation of circumstances. So for me, let me see if I can remember, I did have to do this. I wrote a personal statement of what was going on in that time period where I had to drop the course, things of that nature. For me, it was my mother, back home had an accident, and I had to take care of her for a little bit, and I kind of had stress, and I live in LA, so the traffic and all the commute. So it's very important to know that if you have some issues like that, you could file appeals of this nature. I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware of it. Luckily for me, I, at the time, was speaking to a mentor, which is Catalina, who was a project manager of the last grant we received, the last Title V, that one was called Epics. And she was the one that said, well, you can appeal, right? Because you have a situation going on that is a little difficult. So just be very aware that just because you're having a hard time, it doesn't mean you have to deal with it alone, or that there isn't any resources for you guys to take advantage of.
Thank you so much for mentioning that, Louise, because I don't think that all students understand the appeal process, or I know the financial aid office probably seems like this crowded place, and it seems kind of institutional and friendly anyway, and you stand in line forever, and it's really not good. But the person who is currently serving as the director, she's been on campus as associate director. They don't have a director of financial aid office, so she's doing two jobs. And that's been going on for a couple of years. But she's a very warm, friendly, student-caring person. So really, they want you to appeal if there's any issues. They want you to ask questions. They want things to be right. It's just very difficult. Whenever a student walks in my office and I hear about it, I think, but that's not right. If I call her up, I know her, she instantly answers, hey, Catherine, how's it going? What can I do for you? Oh, we got a student.
Is her name Kelly?
Yes, her name is Kelly.
I met with her. She helped me get my scholarship like that. They took it to PMP and subsidized.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah.
a libraries or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just want to interject that really, ultimately, they are very friendly, student caring.
Yeah, she was very nice. So I met with her as well, and she was very friendly and caring, and obviously I'm here now, so it worked out, right? And again, that just goes to show you how last time I referenced to, make the connections, make relationships, and tap into those habits in your network. Very beneficial. As far as finishing it in the proper time frame, that also you can appeal through a personal statement and department signature. Those forms you can get at the financial aid office. Okay. So after you appeal, now what, basically, right? So your financial aid, if approved, will be reinstated within 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. Right? So it's only for financial aid. It has the probation, if you follow your probation status is something separate, and that's something that we can handle. Some resources for SAP. So the financial aid website has some information about it. This website has more information about it, and the appeal forms are also online, or you can get them at the financial aid office. Okay. Any questions on this? Great. You guys are SAP experts. So now
That's good.
we're going to cover. I'm going to cover scholarships. So Cal State Fullerton has basically a ton of scholarships, a ton of money. I know I mentioned this last time. If you hear it twice, it's twice beneficial. Right? So there's a lot of money in scholarships, grants, and to be honest, a lot of students are not taking advantage of it. So you guys definitely should, right? So one of the opportunities we have through our office is the Giles T. Brown travel grant. This is for students that want to travel to a conference, things of that nature. If you are presenting, that's awesome, that's great, that's what we want to hear. But even if you have a smaller role, you consider that as well. So don't be shy in applying if you don't think you have a significant role. The number varies, so I know a lot of students get approved for it, so that should give you the green light, you know.
Turn anybody down yet who meets the criteria.
So
And we're, by the way, giving away more.
more money now.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we want to go, just, our cohort has been coordinating to go up to a conference in San Mateo this October. We are not presenting. Would we be able to apply and be considered for travel grant?
Technically, no.
Okay.
It's meant for those who are graduate students who are participating in some way in the sense of presenting, or they have a poster, or they're on a panel, but attending only, we haven't been able to do that. Okay. Just stress the pot of money so much.
So when, like I mentioned in my presentation earlier about conferences, when my team and I presented the American Public Health Association, I didn't apply for this, but two of my teammates and they were.
Why did you apply?
I'm simply covered already.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I already had but Victoria and Hannah applied for this, I believe. So it was, I believe it was like retroactive.
Yeah.
Retroactively. Yeah, so just default back to my presentation and apply for this.
Yeah. So again,
And if any of you have an opportunity to be involved in a greater way than just attending, why don't you speak to your faculty and see if they can. Because even if you said, well, we're going to volunteer at the check-in desk, okay. Oh.
And it is retroactive, so just make sure you save your receipts, anything that qualifies for you to be reimburse you. Our website has more information on it. It has more information on all of these scholarships. Okay, so if you have some time, go ahead and check that out. The Grad Equity Program, it's $2,000, and now it's going to be a type of cohort program. So students that get accepted into this program, by the way, it just requires a personal statement and one letter of recommendation. The emphasis of this program is for students that have overcome some disadvantages academically, underrepresented students that have hopes and dreams of eventually, once they're done with their master's, applying to a PhD program. This one has the emphasis on coming back and teaching as well, right, Dr. Mars? So it's even the bigger plus if the student wishes to come to a Cal State system and eventually teach. So the deadline is late April every year, so keep an eye out for that. I know no one applied this year, right? So I want to see everybody's name next year. Again, we award a lot of these. Do you know the number of this?
We can award like 20, 30.
So it's a good amount.
But what if we don't want to teach?
Then you have to think about NLR.
There's another one. Yeah.
If we get our PPS and CSW and PPS, can we be considered?
This program is defined and authorized by the Cal State Chancellor's Office for every Cal State. So Humboldt, okay, and every Cal State gets money from the Chancellor's Office. So the Chancellor's Office sets up the criteria. And they are the ones who said it's to encourage master students to help them finish their masters, give them some funding, etc., so that they will consider a doctorate, whatever the terminal degree is, to become a university professor, to consider being a university faculty. In some ways, one could see it as a way for the Chancellor's Office of the Cal State system to develop its own future faculty.
Okay. And how would this be different from the Southern Lesson?
So this is, in some ways, the first step. This money is for your tuition as a master's student. Sally Casanova is some money so you can consider which doctoral program you'll go to. And you can have them at the same time, but in some ways they're also considered like step one, step two.
And for this year, starting this year, the cohort that gets selected as awardees will have personal development workshops and networking opportunities with faculty and of course, yourselves. The Elevar Scholars Program, which Dr. Powers referenced to, is also a cohort-based scholarship program with professional development workshops opportunities as well. It also awards $2,000 in the fall, $1,000 in the spring. The application requirement is the same: a personal statement and a letter from faculty. The purpose of this scholarship is to help graduate students that have financial needs. That's the big one. I think I touched on this one a lot last time. So if students that have high GPAs, letters of rec where the faculty touches on how good of a student they are, obviously helps, but that's not what we're really looking for. We're looking for the personal statement and the letter of rec to touch on the student's financial need. So even students that are on academic probation are encouraged to apply if they have financial need. Yeah, so that's the students that we're hoping to get as applicants. I serve on the selection panel this time around, and I did see some, students that were really good academically that unfortunately we couldn't accept because we didn't see, financial need in the personal statement or the letter of rec. So it's very important if you're going to apply for this scholarship to focus on that. Anything to add? So the California Pre-Doc program, which is also called the Sally Casanova Scholarship, is also a program or a scholarship through the Chancellor's Office. Like she mentioned, it's step 2. It's kind of a step 2. So now the student is looking into which PhD programs they might want to apply and attend. It awards $3,000, and the number also varies, but it is a very what's the word I'm looking for? Prestigious award, very prestigious award. So all students from all Cal States apply. We have a faculty advisor for students that are applying to make sure that they have the best chance available too. So she'll look at the personal statement and things like that to make sure that our students have a good chance of receiving it. This year, I believe
40-something% of our applicants were awarded, which is huge because usually they get 250 applicants and they can only take 70. And all applicants compete with each other. There's no campus quota. So that we had so many people asking, well, how do you do it? What's going on there at Fullerton?
Good things. I think the good things. It also provides the opportunity for a summer internship. I do believe you have to secure your own, right?
Yes.
Internship, but
they'll help you.
They'll help you with the funding of it. I think just receiving the award, since it's so prestigious, will help you can get an internship. Honestly, we've had two students that I know of. So we've had a lot of students receive it, but personally, I know 2 students that have received it. One of them did her summer internship at Harvard, which was all paid for, and another one did it at UCLA, and then right away started the PhD program at USCLA right after. So it worked out very nicely for her. So for this scholarship, you would, on our website, there is a list of things that we ask for, like name, that we ask you guys to turn that into one of our staff to kind of pre-screen them.
Yeah, I think probably
Sonia. So she'll screen them and then open up the application to you guys. The Chancellor's Doctoral Incentive Program, which would be considered what, third step?
This is third step,
Now
yeah.
you've been accepted into a PhD program. At the time of when you apply, you don't necessarily have to be accepted, right? But to receive it, you have to obviously be attending a program, this is kind of a loan type of award. So they'll loan you up to $30,000, $10,000 a year. Am I saying that correctly? So right?
Yeah, 3 years, 10 grand.
3 years, 10 grand, and it'll get paid off. It can be paid off if you come back and teach as a faculty in the Cal State system. So 20% will get paid off if you're full-time every year, or if you're part-time, 10% will get paid off every year. So eventually you can get through it. Also, there is a scholarship bulletin, and it's under the financial aid website. It's also linked to our website under our funding. If you look at, there's a column that says scholarships. If you click on that, it'll send you over to their website, and that has a university-wide scholarships where they vary drastically. They're by college. They might be outside scholarships. If you guys have a chance, go ahead and take a look at that. A lot of them are, the way to apply to them are now in this new system that's in your student portal. So you would log into your student portal, you would go under scholarships, and it's a long application because I think I explained it last time too, it's a very long application just because it's going to automatically put you up for all the scholarships that you qualify for. One application, you don't have to select which scholarships you want to apply to, it just does it automatically. So it's really trying to narrow down your all kinds of stuff, your ethnicity, your GPA, your major, everything, so it can put you up for those scholarships. Yes.
Can we do that now, or do we have to wait till?
You can do that now.
Okay.
Yeah, I met with, I forgot her name, someone in financial aid. I believe in May, it kind of does the I guess turning over, you can say, to start the new year. The earlier you apply, you fill out the application, the more scholarships that you put up for, because they have different deadlines. So
Okay.
if you wait and do it later, some of the scholarships might be already, the selection time frame might be already over.
And then does it stay for next year, or would I apply
You
again?
would have to do it next year
Okay.
as well, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
And if I can add one little thing is that in this scholarships, there are so many different scholarships in there. A lot of them are privately funded or foundations, or somebody left some money in their will, whatever, and they have all these scholarships. And many of them often go unfunded, or there is so little competition for it. People don't apply. I've had the Office of Financial Aid call me, hey, do you have some graduate students who can apply for this graduate student scholarship because nobody applied? Can you imagine? And it was $1,000. But I had one student say, well, it's not that much money, so we don't want to apply. If it takes you 5 hours and you get $1,000, don't you think it's worth it?
Yeah.
Besides, what you learn from writing the application is so useful. Now you have it there, and next time, go in to your last one, make some adjustments, improve upon it, submit it again. So you gotta get used to that.
Another funding opportunity is to, I don't think you're supposed to work at all, I don't know about graduate assistantships. So as a graduate student, you have the availability to apply for graduate assistantships. You can work up to 20 hours since you're a student, up to 40 in the summer if you're not taking courses. The only, not necessarily, well, the only downside or bad thing is that there isn't one central location online or physically that you can go to see where the positions are available. I think that's something that's a project that we're working on right now, the Office of Graduate Studies. Another thing that we're working on. So, as of right now, it would be beneficial to tap into your faculty, your departments, tap into me. Did I give you guys a business card last time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So you can email me. Sometimes I get emails from different departments asking me if I know about any graduate students that are looking for assistantships. So definitely try and tap into your networks for those. The Career Center is a good place to start. they have internships, and sometimes they do post GA-ships on there if the department requests them to. Grant writing.
Okay, so it's my turn. Feel free to interject all you want. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to give you some insider tips on writing proposals. I decided to call it grant writing because grant is rather large, broad term, can mean a lot of things. In this case, I mean applications for scholarships or for fellowships or grants or and writing or proposals or applications, that kind of thing. The advice I'm going to give here, you can use a lot of different ways. So my advice, prepare the application very, very carefully. It seems so obvious. But Louise and I have seen a lot of applications. I've read all the grad equities now for years. I've read all the CDIPs for years, the Brown travel grants for years. And so I've developed a sense of that you can't be too careful in reading the application, every single word with an open mind. What are they really looking for? What are they looking for? And how can I best put myself forward as that person without lying? If it's not for you, don't apply. But if you have any hope, idea, maybe this is for me, then read carefully what kind of person, who are they looking for? So research funding. What exactly is this thing looking to fund? What kind of project? Okay, maybe, if you have a lot of research time, you can see, well, who has got this before? What kind of project, if it's for a grant proposal or something, or maybe you could see a sample, that'd be kind of nice. We actually have samples of Sally Casanova's and grad equities. We can't share them because it's privacy issue, but we allow people to read the anonymous sections and things. And then the criteria, they almost always say what the eligibility is or the criteria, and you get a lot of information from that. Now, very important, answer each question exactly, precisely, completely, concisely. Seems so obvious. Don't second guess the question. Read it out loud, verbatim, and answer exactly what it is asking. Don't second guess. Don't think, well, I think they really want to know this, If it asks, just answer exactly what it says. Be concise. Don't take too long, but say everything you need to say. And edit your writing. Read it out loud a few times. Show it to your friends, your professors, so that it is well crafted, well written, well developed. Now, if they have multiple questions, and you look at those questions and you read question 1, and you read question 2, and you read question 3, and you think, gosh, my answer for question 1 and 2 is really similar, then go ahead and allow it to be redundant. So if question 1 asks it this way, and question 2 asks it this way, and your answer has overlap, go ahead, be redundant, because you need to answer the questions. So here, don't ever combine questions unless they tell you to do that. Even if you think, well, I'm going to be redundant if I answer this one and then I answer this one. It's almost the same material. Go ahead and answer both of them. Don't ever combine questions and don't ever skip questions. So you have to follow the format. Don't jumble the questions around. If it's question 1, question 2, don't stick 3 above 1. Yeah. And another piece of advice, let's see what's on my next slide, is to put the question in your answer. So if your answer means opening up a fresh piece of paper and you're writing on your computer and you're writing an essay, okay, go ahead and put the question at the top of your essay. Answer the question, then put the next question there as a heading. Number 1, a little verbatim from the application. Number 2, absolutely verbatim from the application. Number 3, and number 4. When I say this, having successfully written 2 enormous US Department of Ed grant applications. And I looked at that grant application, it's 50 pages, right? I'm thinking the question 1 is like question 3. What do they expect me to do? No, I did exactly that, and we got our money, right? $5 million we got so far. Okay, you get a lot of personal statements, and this is super important, super duper important. You're looking at a scholarship application. It says who was eligible, who they're looking for, and then they have a question. Please describe in your personal essay the educational disadvantages that you have experienced and how you overcame them. And you have to be honest, be confidential, what you need to share about yourself. Yeah, you're going to put in the good stuff, but go ahead and put in the bad stuff. Strangely, but put it in there. You know. You don't if you think, some cultures don't want to put in certain kinds of things. Maybe they think that we're not supposed to air the dirty laundry. Put it in there because that's probably who you're looking for, what they want to be. If you don't put it in there, and we spoke about a student who wasn't able to express an application to an MLI and did not express the financial challenges that they had. Yeah, if that's what it's supposed to fund, then you need to say who you are, answer every question in order. Okay, yeah, program's purpose, good. You get somebody to proofread. I talked about editing, reading out loud, your friends. And you're going to rewrite that many times until it's really well written. Choose faculty members who are willing and able to write about your strengths. So here you need to know your faculty. And your faculty need to know who you are. So that takes a long time. So develop your faculty recommenders. It's a skill to work at it. When you're an undergrad, and now in grad school, okay, and you're going to be looking for your future. You're going to be working in nonprofits. You're going to be working community-based. You might go for a PhD. Okay, developing your recommenders, people who can speak about who you are, what you care about, what you value in life, what motivates you, what you want to be, so to speak, what you want to be 5 years from now. That's important. So the way to develop your faculty recommenders is say hello to them once in a while, visit them in office hour, and go ahead and tell them something about yourself. Oh, last weekend I was helping out, my little brother, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we lost our father when we were this old. It's not like whining or whatever, but you have to be honest with what you did, et cetera, so they get to know you. I remember one grad equity student was not talking about their challenges, their life challenges, but thank goodness the faculty member did. The faculty member wrote, this person was a refugee, a religious minority in the country of Iran, and she came here when she was X old and suffered from and all this stuff came out in the faculty member's letter. And then she got the grant, but because she didn't like people talking about that stuff. She wanted to focus on her more recent accomplishments. I don't know, blame her in a way, but she wouldn't have qualified. But thank goodness that the faculty member brought that out in this letter. So getting to know them takes a while. But it's really, really important. And okay, so for as far as the letter of recommendation, make sure you ask the faculty well in advance and make sure you provide them with your essay that you've carefully written, your personal statement, your resume, so they know a little bit more about you. Make sure you provide them with the application itself so they can see what is the program's purpose, and then they can write their letter to match. Okay, other thing about, let's say you have to write a long narrative. Let's say the application asks for 5 pages or 1,000 words or personal statement or something. Organize it very carefully. Short paragraphs, very clear organization. So start each paragraph with some context. Where are we going? The first words in the sentence. It's clarifying where we're going for the reader. Okay, I already said this about using the application acronym. Okay, use I. You know, we learned in academic writing not to say I. And now you're writing this big lofty. Now you have to say I. I did this, I want to do that. This is what I hope for. These are my experiences. So you have to be personal. Even when you're talking about your research or your career goals, you still have to be personal. Be sure it sounds enthusiastic. But we're talking about your goals and some experiences you have, research experience or academic experiences, class you had. Yeah, it just was fantastic research. I thought it was so great. At the same time, don't be too informal with your language. Avoid contractions, things like that. So, but show enthusiasm in your writing, and your professors can help you with that. Now, you're always writing for an educated audience, even if those people are outside your field. Let's see. So you want to avoid some jargon. I don't have a lot of jargon in your disciplines, but be careful of like acronyms and things. You know, be careful of that. You might not know what that means. Active, positive, compelling language, global context to your research or to your career goals, your values. Yeah. Okay, absolutely no typo and no error whatsoever, period. None. So probably going to lift your writing to a higher level. I say that because I know, having been a grad student for many, many, many years in middle school, when we're in class, so we have a class assignment due tomorrow. We're writing a paper, etc. We're tired, it's midnight. You know, we might just say, well, it's good enough. I'll probably get a good grade. And you leave a typo in, or you just don't proofread it that extra time. Think about it. But now you can't do that. It's not good enough. Now you have to proofread it 5 times. When I'm submitting something that's really super important, and I would be so embarrassed if somebody found a typo, what I do, I've learned for many years, is I read it out loud 10 times. I read it out loud 10 times.
Yeah.
But if I want every word to be right, and I don't want any typos, I don't want the embarrassment of them seeing a typo. Ouch. Budget. So if you're writing. Sure, please.
Just really quickly, yeah, just focus on reading the prompts, making sure that you're addressing the questions. You wouldn't believe how many essays and personal statements we receive that where the student just completely misses the mark. You know, they thought about it differently in their head, but really important just to make sure you're reading it correctly, you're answering it. What they're asking for, and again, being honest with them, with yourself. I know, you know, culturally, we're taught a lot not to whine, suck it up, right? So that's not what you're doing when you're writing about that. It's more of sharing your experiences that shows character, that shows maturity, you know. And it's really hard early on to talk about it, but it gets easier as you go. It was really hard for me at first, and now I talk about it in presentations. So, yeah, so it's really important that you key on that.
And finding the balance between telling all of your story and not making it seem like you're whining or you're being overly proud if it's not positive.
Yeah, make sure
finding the balance is right.
Any challenge that you describe that you face, make sure you address high level.
That's true. Yeah. And not every grant is looking for this kind of thing, but many of them are. And here's where you figure out, you read carefully who they're looking for. So if you have to do a budget, if, for example, you end up applying for the Giles D. Brown travel grant, it's a budget request. So what you want is to be specific, think of everything, put on some numbers that look believable. Don't just, oh, $300 or, oh, you know, $500 or $200. make it believable. First of all, if there's a registration, it's gonna be an exact number and you should really know it. Airfare, maybe stick in, Expedia on this date said it was X. Fine, good. Reality might be a little bit different, but you do your best. You did your best, right? Don't forget little things like taking the van from the airport or whatever the shuttle or bus or whatever. Sometimes it's kind of expensive, to be honest. So, here this person provided a little bit more detail of why it was so expensive because of St. Louis and LAX, et cetera. And then hotel. And don't pick a 5-star hotel, single occupancy. You know what? So either plan a room in a decent hotel. I'm not telling you to stay, in a bad hotel you feel uncomfortable. No, pick a hotel you feel comfortable in. It doesn't have to be the conference hotels. Most conferences have other hotels nearby that are a little bit less, and they know the students are going to stay in those hotels, maybe tutor a room. So, that's sort of what we're thinking about. And then, best we can, pick an exact number. For the Brown grant, we actually, we see that 3 or 4 people are going to the same conference. We look at their applications and their budget. Oh, what did that person put for budget? And that one is staying alone in a 5-star hotel. Oh, this one forgot to include a registration. We better give her more money here. So we do that. Common problems, I think we've alluded to this one so much that specific questions are not actually answered. What you're going to use the money for, let's say it's for travel grants, isn't clear. We've had people apply that and even tell us what conference they're going to. Or when is it? What are the dates? Where is it? Let's see, okay, not clear why, long, rambling, wordy, or too short because there's no details. So get all the detail in and then make the writing good. Get all the details there and then edit it so the writing is good. I always write, someone says, okay, we need you to write something, Dr. Powers, in 10 pages. Some number. I write 12 or 14 pages. I don't care, about the length. Make sure all my content is there. Very nice. And then I start removing little bits that don't need to be there until I get into the 10. So that's a good advice, getting all your content in and then getting rid of the rambling stuff. Here's a funny thing, yeah. So sometimes applications ask you to name who is your faculty recommender. And then later we get a letter from somebody else. Funny one. Okay, let's see, let's go on. Budget, yeah, we already talked about that. Okay, now what I was thinking of doing, is all right. Is it on the web?
Yes. Yeah, you should be able to just escape from there.
Okay.
There should be a browser already open. Yeah,
Oh,
Firefox down there.
great.
And then go ahead and open it inside.
We're all volunteering.
We'll see when October comes, who's still down.
Yeah.
We're all there with the check-in people.
Yeah.
Oh, who started?
Yeah. Make it cheaper.
And carpooling and gas.
Yes.
Sometimes you get a good meal.
Okay, so here's also Grad's website, which I've just seen many times, because you go there all.
Yes.
Okay, so the funding is here. And, wait. Are you all registered for orientation?
Yes. Oh, you have to register?
Oh, good, we'd like you to register.
They
Did you
have
get
one of their own, this is ours, this is the graduate students.
when is your orientation?
Friday.
The MSW one?
The Friday before.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Come to ours. It's on Saturday morning, and it'll be fun. We're having a food fair and a resource fair, all these different tables will be there. campus roundtables. There's a policies, there's lots of workshops, there's networking tables.
And free food, can I chime in? If any of you ended up missing part of our program, go to this, take a photo there, write about it, and that can help you with making it
Super. Okay. There we go. Funding, and there's a travel grant, equity program. Yeah, let me click here. Okay, so here you get a sense of what exactly is this trying to fund? Okay, increase diversity, okay, further study and doctoral and promote, okay, so you see right away, it's for people who are in a master's program and they're thinking about going to grad school, doctoral program because they're thinking about university career, right? Economically disadvantaged, overcome educational disadvantage or hardship. So of course you want to write your essay about your economic disadvantage, your educational disadvantages, which can be a myriad of things. You're thinking, well, what's educational disadvantage? And frankly, the disadvantages that we see are discrimination, whether it be racial, gender, sexual orientation, et cetera, single parent family, military family, they lived all over the country, moving every year. Let's see, medical problems in the family where the student has had to help, all kinds of things. So in those senses, that's an educational disadvantage because it has contributed to how the hardships for getting to school.
Question.
Yes.
If April 2018 rolls around, we all want to meet that deadline. We haven't yet graduated and we haven't yet applied for a doctoral program.
Oh, that's
Can we still
okay.
get that award?
Yeah. So the next deadline is April 16th, 2018, next year, right? And since you're just starting your MSW, your graduate degree, so you can get it for the next year. So this deadline, 2018, will be for the following year. You'll have the money the following year, 2018-19. Okay? Yeah. Have to have a FAFSA or a CDA, but frankly, you can put in your FAFSA late just to meet this worst case scenario, but don't do that. Yeah, let's go back to LMI. Yeah. Okay, so similarly, here's the SOAR grant. Okay, economic, some of the same language here. Yeah. Application form, letters of recommendation. Okay, what time is it? I'm not sure how long we have, but questions?
Yes.
About 10 minutes.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
For the one where we go to the conference, how much time in advance do you need, or do you need to turn it in?
Yeah, this is how it works. This is funds from the very first dean of graduate studies. He passed away at 90-something in 2014, and he left a lot of money to Cal State Fullerton for graduate students, graduate studies. So what we decided to do to make it convenient to all graduate students is to have a lot of different deadlines, because we recognize that students hear about conferences all the time. You can submit a proposal and then 3 months later, oh, you've been accepted and the conference is 2 months from now. So it's hard to control the timing, right? So I think we have 4 or 5 deadlines. And we also then fund in retrospect. So let's say you hear about a conference and you get accepted and you're going to go, but you forgot to apply for the travel grant. Well, you can apply late. You can apply after you went to the conference.
Oh.
That's okay. Now, the funding of it, it's one of those situations where you give us your receipts and then we reimburse you what you spent on your airfare, et cetera. And here's why. In the Cal State system, there are 3 ways students can get money. You can get a scholarship or financial aid, You have your FAFSA and everything, and you have, your leave, stuff like that. Okay, financial aid, you can work on campus, get a paycheck. Or you can be reimbursed for approved expenses. So if we gave you the Brown Travel Grant as scholarship, it would just reduce your other scholarship money. It wouldn't add to your scholarship money. So we decided to do reimbursement. I know the bad thing is that you as students have to front the money and then get reimbursed. But the good thing is you don't have to mess around with the financial aid office. And any kind of, it's reimbursement for expenses related to your study. That's why we did it.
Like, say two of us go together, and so we're splitting everything.
Yeah.
So do we write half of it?
In your application, you'd write half of it. And then Sonia works in my office. She'll get your receipts and she'll work out how you buy the receipts and stuff. I don't know how she does that, but because she has to send it over to the philanthropic travel. He wants her kind of receipts. But keep your receipts. So, yeah, airfare, registration, hotel, everything. Shuttle bus, taxi. Okay, other questions?
I kind of have two. So I'm not sure how much you are involved with this, but for financial aid, I think this is the first year they went 2 years back. So I didn't upload my 2016 income, which is really difficult for me because I made a lot more money in 2015. I think that's part of the reason I didn't qualify. I almost didn't even get into this program because of it, because I was working a full-time job and then I'm clearly not now since I'm going to grad school. So that's a big financial hardship for me because then I get kind of messed up on my loans because of it. So I don't know who really is involved with that or why they changed it, but it's very difficult.
Yeah, the U.S. Department of Education runs FAFSA. And they did that many years ago. When I was in college, they didn't have FAFSA. You had to apply for everything. So it was, years ago, they set this up. It's a good thing because a lot of the funds come from U.S. Department of Education, like Pell Grants and things. Kelly England, the director of financial aid here, I spoke to her yesterday about something. She mentioned that she was so excited and relieved because they had just dispersed $111 million to students here at Cal State Fullerton yesterday. She was able to, whatever they do, Kelly in our office, and they go to the U.S. Department of Education's G5 website, programs and other kinds of different kinds of funding that comes from there. Now, the FAFSA, the State University grant, is a state of California grant, but like many states and many scholarships, they use FAFSA, the federal application, as a means of determining financial. So why FAFSA changed, it would be the federal government that decided that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
There's not really a way to
There's a form, in financial aid, if I remember correctly, that form you can complete if there's a drastic change from one year to another. It's an additional form. Okay. And I would think you would be able to submit that because that's exactly what it's for. It's saying my income is no longer what I reported.
Yeah.
It's a big change. It's kind of like a red flag. I would probably have to contact financial aid and ask for that form. I'm sorry, I don't have any.
That's okay. I can look it up.
Yeah, it's an emergency appeal.
Something like that.
Yeah, and you're able to do that at any time that your income changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably too late now, don't you?
No, you can do it at any
It's
time
worth
it
a try.
changes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's worth a try.
Yeah, because that happened.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they
because I
just
think I
require
could have
hours.
gotten a grant for this year and I had to take out all of them, so.
They keep just awarding the money until they run out of money or something, so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It's worth a try. You really never know. It takes you an hour and you didn't win, well, who cares?
yeah, thank you.
But if they also have, speaking of appeals and things, let's say your car breaks down. Somebody, whatever, I was told, yeah, it's gone. And now you need to buy a new car. You can do some kind of appeal process where you let them know that you had an enormous extra income or expenditure burden. and ask them to increase your financial aid. So there, I think that what I take from this is there's more appeals than we're aware of. And it's good to ask questions and read websites. Because that happened once. They made an adjustment. Somebody had an enormous something happen to them, and so they needed to spend $2,000 on something or other. And I talked to Kelly, and she said, well, we just need to do the increased financial burden. I forget the name of the form. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it is that.
Yeah.
And just be aware that, especially with financial aid, if you go and you inquire about something, most of the time we do have student workers, and while they do a great job, if something doesn't resonate with you very well, make sure you go and ask someone else.
Yeah.
Okay? Just make sure, double check that you receive the correct answer. And you guys feel free to reach out to me if that happens, and I can try and get to the bottom of it, or someone else to answer it.
Okay.
See if it's the same.
I don't think we got your business card.
No, did I forget them?
Did we get it? I don't.
We can provide it.
Sorry.
It's also on the Grad Studies Office website.
On the bios from when he presented it, his email should have been on.
Okay.
And we have 5 minutes left, so maybe 1, 2 more questions.
On that, I think it's the Ella scholarship. It said, I didn't apply for it because it said that you didn't have a mentor. So going into the program, how would you have a mentor already?
To say you have to already have it, or just to apply.
No, it's worded a little funny, but it basically is a confidential letter of recommendation from one faculty or staff member. And then it continues to say, having a faculty or staff member who can mentor you is an important part of the graduate experience. This application requires one letter of recommendation from such a mentor, and will encourage you to find such a person. Yeah, it's what it is.
We should reconsider that.
Yeah.
So one of the mentors that we spoke with you about, or one of our faculty in our program?
And that's what it's trying to get to, saying to go back to a faculty or someone that maybe has that role, and ask them for a letter, just because we, like I've said, we're hoping that letter of recommendation speaks about your financial partnership. It would be hard for someone that really knows you to speak on that. But being part of the LFR will also make you part of the mentor-mentee program as well. And then you can tap into them to
But technically, would I have been able to apply?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it could have been a professor already had.
Yes,
it.
of course.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And whenever you have questions like that or something that seems a little funny, email or call the contact person. Almost everything has a contact person or an email. So just don't self-disqualify yourself right away. Just inquire about it.
Okay, perfect. We get a round of applause.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you guys during orientation, August 19th.
A lot of them will be coming out, so thank you for that. Oh, and can we save that as?
The PDF.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Oh,